gotta learn what you taught me. Keep watching. You'll see. Look at me. Endeavor!
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Let's React. I'm Kenny and this is my beautiful wife Montana.
And today we're going to be reacting to Season 6, Episode 17 of My Hero Academia, The Wrong Way to Put Out a Fire. All right.
Yeah, just left off with Endeavor coming face to face with the rest of his family besides Toya.
Well, I mean, the title makes me think it's going to be like Endeavor versus Toya, or maybe Endeavor and Todoroki versus Toya, but just like flames fighting each other. I want to know what happens with the whole family. I want to know what everyone's thinking. I want to know what everyone's saying. I want to be a fly on the wall, please.
Well, that's what we're here for. But if you're excited for more episodes of My Hero Academia, make sure to hit like, comment, and subscribe down below for episodes coming every Friday and Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you can't wait and want to see these episodes right now, including a few episodes of Season 7, which I have not seen, check out the Patreon link in the description below, where these extended uncut episodes are all posted right now, along with other shows we're watching, Jujutsu Kaisen, Solo Leveling, and Hazbin Hotel. Are we excited for episode 17 of My Hero Academia?
Absolutely.
All right, let's get it.
Let's go.
Dunderheads, this video was brought to you by the incredible members of the Let's React Patreon. If you want access to a ton of exclusive perks, check out the link in the description below. Have a good day, Twinkle Toes!
It's truly an honor to be approached by the man many believe will be the next #1 hero in Japan. I never expected such an offer.
Who are you?
Fortune has truly smiled upon us. As you surely know, the Himura family has enjoyed a long and celebrated history, which makes my daughter the perfect match for a man of your
this is a long time
status.
ago. Okay.
A top-tier pro needs a fitting bride.
She was a woman made of ice. On the surface, our union seemed like any arranged marriage, but I had an ulterior motive. My goal was simple: to produce the strongest child possible, one who wielded our combined powers. This was a quirk marriage. My flames were strong.
Aquarius.
Add the ice abilities of the Himura family to the mix, and surely my offspring would grow to surpass All Might. While Rei's family was once prestigious, they were now struggling. They craved the status associated with the #2 hero, and my money, which is probably why her father quickly agreed to my proposition. She had the option to refuse me. Rei knew exactly what this marriage was, and yet, she accepted my intentions and became my wife for the sake of her family.
Damn.
Do you like the flowers?
Yes, they're quite beautiful.
There was a strength to her, but still, she seemed like she might melt at the slightest touch.
Yeah, she liked the flowers.
Okay.
Rei. Hello. Are you okay?
In what world would I be? That's why I've come here. You aren't the only one suffering. Because you're not the only one who overlooked our child.
All right. Wow.
With that intro, what are you interested in the events of this episode?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, so she's locked in because of Toya. Singularly focused. All right.
These are some wicked burns. I can't feel a thing, though. Knowing how tough my father is, I doubt he'll die from whatever injuries he racked up. Even if he wanted to, the #1 hero can't die unceremoniously on the battlefield. I bet he'll do a press conference soon. Can't wait to see his pathetic face. After so long, I get to watch him break. Enji, Mom, Fuyumi, Natsuo, Shoto. When you're crying in hell, be sure and wave.
Oh.
Because remember, you can't cry. He has no tear ducts.
God. Just crying blood.
Yep.
I don't have school today. We should be doing quirk training together. Come on, Dad. You said you would, remember?
I've told you already. This time off is for your own good. I have to go.
So that's
It's
Toya.
unusual.
Your son inherited a strong version of your flame quirk, that's true. But unfortunately, his body appears to have taken after his mother. In other words, he's physically built to tolerate freezing temperatures far better than heat. And in terms of designer babies, look, the
Designer
whole concept
babies.
is taboo. I suggest you stop pursuing it.
Eugenics?
Regardless,
Yeah.
Toya shouldn't be using his quirk. Try to keep him from doing so. I'd hate to see the boy burn himself and end up in the emergency room.
Toya, I thought you would exceed All Might. With flames more powerful than mine, you should have been the best. How did this happen?
Wait, so combining his quirk with her actually made him weaker.
Made the quirk stronger and the resistance weaker.
Right, so for his child. Wow.
Yeah, I think that's called a monkey's paw. Is that what that's called? I think it's when you're like, I want to be able to run fast. And then it's like, here you go. Now you can't stop running ever. Like where essentially you get some sort of wish granted and it has this exterior
It's like,
reverse effect that you don't
it's
expect.
interpreted in a different way.
So like, I want to combine my quirks and create a powerful offspring. It's like very powerful, but
It's like,
the
cool,
combined
you're
quirk
more
actually
powerful.
weakened it.
That is so interesting. I've never heard of that, but that's absolutely what it is.
Yeah.
How did this happen?
He saved 62 municipalities today. As long as we have this shining
Wow.
star protecting us,
Hey,
there is
Fuyumi?
no way that villainy
Why do you
will
think Dad won't let me do quirk training anymore? So I got some dumb burns, big deal. I'm more than tough enough to take that. I know my body better than anyone, and I say I'm totally fine. I agree
Wait, his
with
hair is
Dad. I don't like it when
changing.
you
Yeah.
come home looking hurt. Really?
Because it's all
You
white
were
and
stupid to
Yeah,
think you
right.
did it. No girl would understand this. But I'm worried about you, brother. I've made my decision. I'm gonna be better than him, the top hero. You're the one who lit this fire under me, Dad.
Because fire.
Yep.
That's too much. It's downright cruel. Tell him anything else. He already knows what you want from your children. Just let him have hope.
No matter what I say to him, he shows up at the house with new injuries every day. The boy is stubborn just like his father. This is the only way to make him give up. He has to know. He can't beat All Might.
Oh no. Wait, so did Endeavor kill Toya because he was trying to show that Toya was not strong enough to make it?
I think he was saying he has to know that he can't be stronger than All Might. Like, has to tell him, you can't be stronger than All Might.
Okay.
When that's his number one thing he keeps saying.
Okay. So kind of like Deku's mom in the beginning, where he was like, am I going to be able to do it? And she was like, I'm so sorry. Instead of just being like, yeah, you can do whatever you want. It's like, I apologize.
yeah.
The thing that you want
No,
more
you're
than
right.
anything, I have to tell you
what
that
a
isn't
good
possible.
pull there. Wow. Okay. But
Thanks, baby.
yeah, wow. But watch this. Dang, I hadn't thought of that. Really good parallel.
You're wrong, Dad. I can be the next number one. Watch me. My flames are stronger every time I come out here. I've been practicing this entire time. I know I can do it. I'll surpass All Might. Wait and see.
He's already
Keep
got
your
that
eyes
kind
on
of
me,
crazy.
okay?
Just
Damn it,
keep
when
your
will
eyes
you
on
get this
me,
through your
so-
head? Have you learned nothing from getting burned over and over again? Listen, Toya. Find a new dream to pursue. Go play with Fuyumi and Natsuo. Make friends at school and do stuff with them. There are plenty of things to do with your life besides being a hero. Leave this unattainable goal behind you.
But the kids at school say they're gonna be pros one day. They don't get what it's like for me. But you do. You showed me being the best is what matters.
Toya, no, you have
You
to cool
pushed
off.
me to want this, Dad. It's too late now. Can't unlearn what you taught me. Keep watching. You'll see. Look at me. Endeavor!
From now
Wow.
on, Shoto
So you
isn't
want it,
allowed anywhere near
Todoroki.
the other children. I have work.
Wait,
I can't watch.
Shoto isn't?
But
Wait, is he isolating Toya or is he isolating Shoto?
Toya leapt at Shoto.
Right, yeah.
And then this happened.
And then
but we'll see what
yeah,
it says.
yeah, yeah.
I think it's Shoto. I think you're right.
From now on, Shoto isn't allowed anywhere near the other children. I have work. I can't watch him all the time, but that's why we have the help. You don't let Toya out of your sight.
He just wants you to pay attention
Oh,
to him.
buddy.
I only know the world of heroes. There's nothing there for him.
So that's it. You're running away.
So,
Wow.
any thoughts on those scenes?
Wow. Okay. The idea that he has one child who is obviously out of control and a danger to the others, and his solution is separate and protect the highest performing of the remaining children instead of keep all of the kids safe from the one kid.
It just shows you where his priorities are.
It so does. He can do whatever he wants to the other kids because they are not showing the potential I want.
And Toya just given expectations and then told, now you can't do what I wanted you to do.
Yeah. Well, and his mom is obviously upset by it. I mean, I don't know that she could do anything, but she's very clearly upset by it.
Yeah. And he's just continuing to still go train by himself. Just, yeah.
Hey, Toya! Come play! Yours!
So that's Toya.
All right. And he's being invited out.
Ignore them, Shoto.
Yeah, he's friends with the siblings.
I kind of thought he was anti all of his siblings at this point. I thought he was kind of isolating himself, but
It's more that Shoto got isolated.
Gotcha.
That's why Natsuo cares about him so much.
Right. That makes sense.
Yours! Got it! Are you hurt?
Ignore them, Shoto. They live in a different world than the one I'm training you for.
Can I just play with them a few minutes? They look like they're having fun together.
There's no time. You've work to do.
You know what? I think I had the wrong idea back then. Shoto isn't the one I should blame. Dad's the person who messed up everything. We're failures to him, so he pretends we don't even exist. That's just how it works. Not like he's all that different. Lots of heroes have kids that they don't want.
You've already
All right.
told me this a million times. Ugh, why don't you go bother Fuyumi instead?
No, hold on. Are you ignoring me too, Natsu? Please don't do that. I'm telling you this stuff because you have to understand. You agree, right? Besides, the women in our family are all useless.
Wait! Are you planning to go to the mountain again? Why don't you hang out with your classmates?
No, I don't need friends. I'm different from them.
Toya, tell me.
Because that's what he's been told his whole
Do you
life.
really want to become a hero? Because from what I see, it looks like you're suffering simply because you want to please your father. Son, there are many different paths in life. You have countless opportunities. Don't spend your life chasing someone else's dream. I want you to find something you're actually passionate about in this world.
Shut up, Mom! You
Where
don't
was
know
this
anything.
years ago? Oh.
This from one of your self-help books or something? I know Grandma and Grandpa were poor. That's why they sold you, right? You had no choice in what your life would be like.
Son,
But you did decide to have me. So you're to blame for this too.
Toya.
My fire wouldn't go out. I was smaller than most kids my age, but when I hit puberty,
Fire
things
shifting to blue.
changed. And my flames suddenly transformed from red to blue.
I see.
Wow.
They're like extensions of my body. When I get excited, my firepower goes through the roof. Oh man, I'm incredible. Dad is gonna be so surprised when he sees this. Damn it. No crying. Why do I always tear up when things go my way?
Back when you could cry.
Yeah.
Dad, your next day off, you gotta come to Sokoto Peak.
New burns. He's hiding them beneath his clothing now. Toya, you're still training?
And I've gotten super awesome! Make sure you come watch. I bet I can get to Shoto's level pretty soon. Or All Might's level. No, better! And I guess then you'd have to accept that I'm not actually a failure like you thought. After all these years, you'll be happy to have me as your son!
I asked you to do one thing! Just stop him from training!
I won't let you beat me to mommy! Stop it! You're being a bully!
Get out of here, Shoto! This has nothing to do with you!
Shut up, Mom! You don't
Slapped
know anything!
their mom in front of them.
My options were limited when I was younger. But I chose to marry you of my own free will. I thought, if I kept a smile on my face, things might work out. I tried my best. He wouldn't listen.
Her eyes look like Dobby's.
It's your problem now! You deal with this! Be of use for once!
What do you see when you glare at me like that? Please don't look at me. With those horrible eyes. Those eyes.
And that's when she burned him.
I was taken
Same
to a
eyes.
facility, which is where I heard about Toya's death. That loss shattered whatever was left of my mind.
Suck it up. Do not cry.
You didn't go to Sokoto Peak like he asked.
I was afraid if I did, it would feed a fire that was already out of control.
He didn't go with them.
The
Wow.
real reason is I had no idea what to say, or how to be Toya's father.
Dad.
I guess we both failed in that sense.
It's too hot! Please go out! It hurts!
They respond to his emotions.
No. Yeah, and they're out of control.
Impressive heat. Well, what did you expect, old man? All you ever taught me was how to burn everything.
If only I'd just given everything up that day. But after I killed Toya, I couldn't go back. The only thing I knew how to focus on was molding Shoto into the hero I could never be myself.
How crazy is it that he's blue?
What were you gonna say?
How crazy is it that Shoto's blue in that photo?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and how about, it wasn't that he did something to kill him, like, directly. It was more, they were saying...
He didn't show up, and things got out of control, and he probably could have controlled them had he been there.
Yeah, well, and just wasn't showing up as a father.
Yeah.
Shoto into the hero I could never be myself.
The more domineering you were, the harder it was to look at you. And whenever I looked at my children, it was your eyes I saw staring back at me.
Even though I knew we were falling apart, I was too scared to get to the bottom of our pain. So I tried to keep up appearances, ignoring the truth.
You're the one who put us on this path, and I know you're to blame. But if I'd been able to knock some sense into Toya before he ran off to the mountain, he wouldn't have turned into Dobby, and things might have been different between me and Shoto.
The responsibility is not yours to bear alone. Your heart may be broken, but we're going to help you put it back together. Because you have no choice but to fight Dobby one day.
Are you sure? How can I?
Shoto must have suffered so much more than we did. But he still started calling me Mom again, even though he has every right to hate me. He's made friends at UA High, and he's protected each of us, likely more than we know. He is the true hero in this family.
Before coming in here, I had a long talk with Mom. I thought you wouldn't be able to fight after how things went down. That I would have to face Dobby myself. That's not the case, though. So whenever you're done crying, you and I will work to stop Toya together.
Shoto! Pardon us. We were kind of listening into your convo. And since we're in the loop, mind if we join your weird family reunion?
Best Genist and Hawks.
I was discharged from the hospital yesterday and already gathered a bunch of info about what's going on.
I am deeply ashamed and apologize for my son's actions.
Huh? That's definitely not the reason we're here. Seriously, please stop, ma'am.
I admit we wanted answers about Dobby, but eavesdropping is sketchy like black market denim.
What does that even mean?
Knowing the source of his resentment could make things easier. The more we know about how he survived and why he adopted this Dobby persona, the better. We can speak to the child inside him.
I've watched a lot of videos of you over the years, Endeavor, but I never guessed
He was
the
this big
tenacity you
fan.
had in your younger years would make your home so hellish. Gotta admit, it's shocking. This didn't come up when you were talking about Toya, but...
Maybe don't lean on him. He's covered in burns anyway, but...
Yeah.
This didn't come up when you were talking about Toya,
Not
but...
very mindful.
Are you to blame for the burn on Shoto's face as well?
So close.
No, that was me.
Mom, you...
Oh.
But he still started calling me Mom again, even though he has every right to hate me.
I see.
I never got to confront my parents. Instead, I abandoned them. But you stood your ground.
He abandoned
Shoto.
them?
You're a heck of a kid.
That's what he thinks.
Endeavor, the world is going to pieces.
I know.
Shigaraki, Dabi, Himiko Toga, Spinner, Skeptic, and 132 Liberation Front members escaped, as well as 7 near high-end Nomu. At this point, we have no leads. No idea where they're hiding. In addition to Tartarus, 6 other prisons were broken into. At least 10,000 prisoners have been released into the wild, causing mayhem and panic.
Oh no.
There's also no agency calling the shots for us. Not that there are a ton of heroes left to organize. Pros are resigning left and right. Many civilians have lost faith in our ability to protect the streets, so they're taking up arms and fighting villains themselves, which inevitably leads to collateral damage. Currently, the government is requesting aid in the form of rescue teams and heroes from other countries.
Here she comes.
But with the Safety Commission in shambles, bureaucracy is getting in the way. Everything's gone to crap in just 2 days.
Heroes from other
And I
countries.
second what your wife said. You have no choice but to keep fighting. Of course, we've got your back. Responsibility for this can't be put on your shoulders alone. And it's not your family's fault either.
You would help me.
Even if Dobby was right about the Todoroki family, things are different now. I want to do what's right and support people
They're
who are
going
trying
back.
their best
All
to do
right,
the same.
fabulous news.
Yep, we propose a little team up between the top 3 heroes.
I've already bet my life on Hawks once. This will be another tricky runway to walk, but we will prevail.
Look at who's standing in front of you. Don't we make the burden feel a little lighter? Isn't it time to move forward?
Yes. Yeah.
We'll help you. Just till we stop Toya.
Now, to get down to business.
All right.
Okay.
Wow.
Before we do any more, what are your thoughts on that whole
Okay.
sequence? Lots happened.
Yeah. Wow. They just gave us so much information.
Yeah.
I thought it was very, very interesting that all of the Todorokis were kind of taking on responsibility, especially the kids.
Yeah, I was wondering your opinions on that.
I mean, I think like when you're a child and your home situation is awful, the idea that you would like never do anything that would contribute to like a negative household is ridiculous. Like obviously that's gonna happen. So to then like be an adult and like take responsibility for it like you were an adult in a normal situation when that happened and saying, oh, it's not actually on the adult who created this situation, but I'm gonna take responsibility for it as a child.
They're still saying the blame's on him, but they're saying they...
But not all of it. I don't know about that one.
Like, it reminds me of the idea of, like, even if it's not deserved, the family is healing in a way.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and just the idea that, like, I don't know, regardless of who's at fault or who's to blame or who like has the majority of the responsibility, they're all connected to him. That like that's not something they can change. And it would kind of suck to be like, oh yeah, everyone knows that my brother is this terrible person, like this mass murderer. So it makes sense that they all individually have something to gain by working together to try to limit the amount of damage he can do, both for like their own reputation, but also like so they can sleep at night. Just the idea of like, I was mean to this guy when he was a kid and then he grew up and killed a bunch of people. That's not great. So I guess from that standpoint, the like set aside past stuff and move on as a group makes sense.
Now, to get down to business. First, we explain things to the public. After Dabi's dramatic speech, that's unavoidable. I've given some thought to how we might go about responding, but there's still a little confusion. What do you know about One for All?
Oh yeah, a reporter mentioned that too.
While he was fighting Shigaraki, Endeavor mentioned something called One for All. Do you know who or what he was referencing?
Doesn't have anything to do with that terrifying supervillain known as All for One.
Whatever it is, we need to figure out how it factors into the puzzle.
Sorry for using a private line. It's highly possible that I'm the one Shigaraki's after.
What is he gonna say? Rumblings are happening.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting.
Well, remember Deku.
Yeah.
I've been awake for how long and you're still telling me?
Did you not say you were trying to grieve?
Thank you for the assistance, Sue.
What is wrong with that boy?
When I saw the extent of his
It's
injuries,
just how
I
he
figured he'd
is.
be out for a while.
And yet he's somehow louder than ever.
Hey guys, sounds like Tokoyami and Kaminari are cleared to go home now.
Are they really? That's wonderful news.
Are there any updates on Midoriya's recovery yet?
They said his body's fine, but I'm still worried.
Heyo.
Great explosion murder god Dynamite. Are you alright?
What's it look like?
We'd like a few words with Izuku
I can't
Midoriya.
believe you bullshitted me when I said Dynamite for Bakugo. You were like, oh, All Might, like, cause might, like Dynamite, like All Might.
I'll be real, I wasn't bullshitting there. I think of this name, when I think of this name, I stop remembering after Great Explosion Murder God and just think it's just a ridiculously long, stupid name. I didn't realize that it was, the last part was Dynamite with it's spelled might.
That's so funny.
So when you said that, I was like, that's an amazing
Wait, oh my god, that's so good. Okay, okay.
No, that was me being like, wait, you should have done that.
I thought of that the other day because I was like, how is that possible?
But do you give it a...
Yeah, no, totally.
We'd like a few words with Izuku Midoriya.
Well, All Might said to leave the two of them alone.
He did, huh?
Endeavor said that Shigaraki was after Midoriya, and All Might is clearly involved somehow. What in the world is One for All?
Young Midoriya, I can feel it. The vestige of me that lives within One for All. Inside you.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right now, he must be talking with the previous wielders.
Okay, interesting.
In April, Deku left our hero academy.
Okay. Oh.
Looks like a huge villain.
Oh, wow. He has a hat.
Yeah, so he thinks he's talking with the users of One for All inside his own brain.
We need a plan. So that's good.
It's a little conference.
Yeah. Get everyone involved.
I'll let you know the next episode is Izuku Midoriya and Tomura Shigaraki.
Just two of the people I wanted to see.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens when Deku wakes up. Make sure to hit like, comment, subscribe down below if you're excited for our next episode of My Hero Academia. We have episodes coming out every Sunday and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you can't wait and want to see these episodes right now, including the rest of Season 6, they're all posted at Patreon in their extended full-length forms. Along with that, a few episodes of Season 7, which I have not seen, will be a total blind reaction. We have a lot to discuss, but before we do that, where are we headed?
All right, let's review.
Thank you for watching. For now, we're going to go to questions given to us by our amazing Patreon members. If you want to help us decide what we're going to watch next and ask us questions after every episode we watch, join the link in the description below and start asking. For now, let's go to question 1. Katsuki Bakugo asks, Montana, as our resident psychology nerd, can you talk to us about what Toya's mental state would be like growing up with Endeavor as his father, and delve into how/why he turned out to be Dabi, who's singularly obsessed with his father? Also, what if anything could have been done to prevent this outcome?
Yeah, so basically, kids, for their survival, are programmed to do exactly what their parents want, become exactly what their parents want. So for him to buy into that so completely makes sense. And then since Endeavor was obviously leaning into training him to be like the next greatest thing, and then to suddenly have that taken away, like that rejection and abandonment wound is not something that would ever heal. You spend your entire life trying to be what your dad wants you to be. And your dad isn't just a dad. He's like one of the most powerful, greatest heroes. Everyone's obsessed with him. People have dolls of him. Of course you want to be what he wants you to be. And then to not be enough.
And not be allowed to try it,
and
like
to be
told.
too weak. That you were just fundamentally at your core, no amount of work will change the fact that you're just not good enough.
What that do to his mental state?
I mean, it would just kind of break you. Like no other development would happen. You would just keep trying to. I mean, the good way it could have turned out is like, fuck you, I'll show you, I'll be the best hero ever. And like, I don't know, figured out a support item or something and then like became a great hero. But to kind of, go the other direction with it of like, oh, I'm gonna make you sorry for that. Like, I just want you to hurt the way I hurt. And then the sibling thing makes it like extra fucked up because it's like, how replaceable do you feel as a child when like, not only are you not good enough, but someone else is. Yeah, I don't really think he ever stood a chance, unfortunately.
So you think there was no escaping this situation?
No.
Doesn't it make it interesting how he's Dabi's so singularly focused on Endeavor the way he is? Like,
yes.
It's just a reframing of that. I'll show you and make him proud. Now it's like, I'll
show you and make you sorry.
Yeah.
Or like honestly, like proud in a weird, fucked up way. I'm not saying that Endeavor would think that, but it makes sense to me that Dabi would think that Endeavor would be impressed and proud of an unbelievable level of destruction and like, oh wow, that's bad, but like, damn, my son did that amount of damage.
Like if he beat Endeavor and then was like, well, at least you're stronger than me. But I just had
that.
Yeah,
yes.
like if he lost him, he'd be like, well, you proved me wrong. Like you are stronger.
Yes.
But anyway, I had a thought which had never occurred to me till this moment.
Okay.
I wonder what Endeavor and Shoto thought specifically about fighting Deku in the tournament, where Deku's power kept hurting himself, like Toya's power keeps hurting himself. And he was strong enough still
you're
to.
So right.
Well, actually, he ended up losing to Todoroki. So I wonder what he thought of that, and instead of being told like, oh my god, like your power's way better, like
give up,
like I want to hurt you because your power's better than mine, like a Shoto experience from Toya. Instead he experienced it's your quirk, not his. Like you should be using your full power, like you are gifted and it's not connected to Endeavor. Like I don't know, that's kind of I don't know if that parallel was super intended, but if it was, like
I think the idea of a quirk that like actively injures you, that's a pretty direct comparison for Deku and Toya.
Yeah, and Shigaraki's the other one, which it's just interesting because like, what is that saying? But let's go to our second question. Markabel Jaden asks, what do you think about the narrative in this episode trying to divide the blame of Endeavor's actions to the rest of the family when all of them are also his victims? It might be unfair when it comes to the other children, but do you think it's fair for Rei to also share some responsibility since she's an adult, or would that be stepping into victim blaming territory?
Yeah, the whole thing really kind of feels like victim blaming to me. I'm like,
I remember it. That's the way.
I don't want to tell I don't want to tell them what to do. Like you can forgive whoever you want and you can take responsibility for whatever you want. But the things that you did when you were a kid, while you were actively being trained by a monster.
They weren't being trained. Only Shoto.
Parented, I guess.
Not even parented, I would say.
The other kids were just completely ignored by him?
Yeah.
I mean, they grew up in a house with him.
Not really. He was either doing hero work or he'd come in and work with Shoto isolation. Natsuo said, he said, I barely know you. You neglected us. So that's what he kept saying to him.
All right. So it was neglect for...
It was very intentional. He quite literally said in this flashback, I don't know how to parent Toya. And he got mad at the mom saying, you were supposed to have a lid on this.
Right.
Like, he isn't in their lives.
Okay. All right.
That's why from the kid's perspective, it's literally from Natsuo and the sister's perspective, it's I never really knew my dad, and he was kind of just, he would come hit my mom and then never let me see my brother.
Yeah.
And then from Toya's perspective, it's I've seen what it's like having Endeavor as a father, but now I'm out and not allowed in.
Yeah.
And so that created that. And then Shoto is, what if I only got interaction with my father?
Yeah.
But the question is the shared the shared blame type thing. It makes sense to share your feelings. Like, they have feelings about Toya. So like, I could have done something with Toya. Maybe it's less like, hey, Endeavor, it's not as much your fault. Like, it's more, I'm feeling these feelings because now knowing he's alive, I could have done something. Like,
yeah, maybe it's like we all have things that we regret in the past, but there's a new situation and we need to work together in order to figure that out. And I get that.
And Natsuo made a point to say, we will do this to get to stop Toya, and then we'll see. Like, he didn't fully forgive, like, for nothing. So, okay, I'll amend that. If you look at it from the perspective of them coming in and saying, like, these are the thoughts I've had, like, I could have done something with Toya and saved him, now knowing what he's become. Like, I guess, okay, if Toya had died there, it appears as if a troubled child that wants to be a hero has been pushed, just passed away and never did anything evil.
Yeah.
When you see that became evil, it changes it from, oh, I could have stopped him from like pushing himself too far. He worked too hard. It instead becomes, oh, that was pushing him towards the dark side.
Like, I could have saved lives. Like actual other people's lives.
That, as well as like, I was in a situation that was creating a villain and didn't.
That's such a good point.
You know
also.
what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I was in a situation where,
like, when he said like it could have been me, that doesn't just apply to like, I could have been in your situation had I not had like the same balance of, or the balance of fire and ice that I do, but more of like a same parents, grew up in the same house. Like, this is a very realistic potential outcome.
And remember, Natsuo was sleeping and Toya came and was like trying to talk to me. He's like, you've told me this a billion times. I don't want to hear it. And he was like, are you ignoring me too? Like, there were moments in that episode where they showed him trying to vent, and they were just like, just be a kid, just have fun. But they don't know what it's like because he had his father's love and then lost it.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And it's like, yeah, okay. So now that I've broken it down, I understand more what the response is. It's we all want to have this be resolved, and the best way to do that is together. So we put aside the past for now and just work on this. But like, definitely like a hard-hitting episode. Like, I remember watching this being like, I did not I really thought that like the author had thought like, okay, I kind of want Endeavor to be more of a hero, and then kind of wrote it that way. But he's staying true to who Endeavor was, which is a fascinating thing to do with the character.
100%. Yeah. I want to know more about the dad of the guy who wrote this show.
Well, maybe that'll be another manga, but let's go to our final question. Final question. Saw Meadow asks, now that reporters are asking about One for All, do you think it's possible to keep it a secret? If not, what do you think people's reaction will be?
Okay, so remind me exactly what they like have concrete wise, isn't it?
They've only heard the phrase One for All.
I think it very easily could be written off as like, oh, someone was dyslexic and just saw All for One. I think that's so easy to just like, oh no, that's like nothing. I mean, I messed it up like a million times when we first started this show.
Yeah. So they have the phrase, but they're asking about it. So like, what are they going to say about that? Like, in a time where civilians are distrusting them and asking them for answers, like, it's a tough time to be like, oh, I'm gonna lie to you about this. Or
exactly.
They don't know they're lying. They also don't know what One for All is.
Yeah, it's like, it's a quirk like all of the other quirks that exist in the world around you.
You know
like,
what?
Oh, it's a little different. Okay, aren't all of them a little different?
Well,
like, they all have their own specific niche
You know
thing.
what? There is one thing we're not considering.
Okay.
They saw Deku use Black Whip and Float and One for All and all that at the same time and take on Shigaraki. Like, they know that Deku's something like kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like that, it's not.
That's tough to explain.
It's not normal to have they've talked about, they briefly mentioned, these are just quotes in my brain, I don't know exactly when they were said, but I think they mentioned like with multiple quirks, like people are going to start asking questions. Like it's strange.
Yeah.
The other thing I have to say, which occurred to me, and I felt like it was a simple thing I could have said, a while ago Baku was like, so you're the same as him, and you took offense to that. You're like, he's saying he's like all for one. The phrase is all for one and one for all. Like it is, they are related. Like the narrative.
Yeah, but if some guy is like a monster, to be like, you're just like him. That
power.
Like dick. Okay.
Like, but do you
clarify?
But you have to admit, maybe you didn't consider the fact that it's a phrase. Like they're supposed to be kind of mirrors. Like
no, I'm not buying it. No, you're not gonna get me on this one. Yeah, I don't like it.
You don't like it? Okay.
No,
but
poorly
gut
done.
feeling, do you think one for all doesn't become known?
No.
Okay.
I think it stays a secret.
We'll see what happens, but are we excited for episode 18 of season 6 of My Hero Academia?
Can't wait.
All right, let's get it.
Let's go.